So again, the problem, we've got this square root function. We want to find the slope of the tangent line when x is equal to 3. And we're going to use the definition of the derivative, the standard one. So now I just plug in my function. So again, I like my 4-step process, so I'm going to do it that way. Step 1 is what is f of 3 plus h? That means in my function, replace x with a parentheses, and then fill the parentheses in. That's the safe way to do it. So then I plug in my 3 plus h. That cleans up a little bit, right? Parentheses aren't really necessary now that I see that, so that's going to give me what, 4 plus h inside the root. And that's, I can't do anything more with that. So sometimes it simplifies a lot, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, step 2, I need to, from that, subtract f of 3. All right, so let's say if I plug 3 in for f here, that means I have to subtract the square root of 4, which is, I got to subtract the 2. And so I'm just going to sneak over here. From that, I need to subtract the 2. Right, so this is my f of 3 plus h. That is my f of 3. Can't do any more with it. Doesn't simplify much.
This one we're just simplifying.
What's that?
This was just simplifying.
Yeah, so I just found my numerator. Right, so now I need to throw the denominator in. So step 3.
Do you want to verify my calculator?
I walked by and I could see that. Yeah. Cool, thank you. This pile right there is fine. All done too? Congratulations. Done?
Yeah.
Sweet.
That was not as hard as I thought
We-
it was going to be.
Staple.
Yeah, if you have an extra paper, please staple those. So I've got the square root of 4 plus h, then minus 2, all over h. And again, sometimes things cancel, like if this was a parabola, things would cancel, but nothing happens there. But am I at a point where I can take the limit directly? Okay, so try taking the limit directly, what happens?
Get 0 on top.
I get 0 on top and in the bottom, which means I need to do something different.
Multiply by the conjugate.
Multiply by the conjugate, beautiful. Got it. Conjugate. So that means I'm going to have a square root of 4 plus h plus 2 in the top and the bottom. Whenever you're playing with rational expressions like this, my recommendation is leave the denominator unfactored, factored form. Like, don't carry out this multiplication, but you got to do the top. You always got to do the numerator. So that means I have to distribute, but this is going to be the difference of 2 squares. So then I get the square root times itself, which is just the inside, 4 plus h. And then I get 2 times 2, but I'm subtracting because it's a negative times a positive. The middle terms disappear. The denominator here is just h times the square root of 4 plus h plus 2. But the numerator cleans up quite a bit, doesn't it? 4 minus 4 goes away. I'm left with just an h in the top. What's that? Since h is connected by multiplication at the bottom, I can cancel that, correct? Yeah. And remember, what does canceling really mean? Canceling means I have a number divided by itself, which is 1, so there's a 1 in the numerator. So this is 1 over square root of 4 plus h plus 2. So I did some algebra, now I try to take the limit again. What happens as h goes to 0 here? 1/4, yeah, it turns out the limit is 1/4. So in this case, 0 over 0 ends up being 1/4. That must be the slope of the tangent line. So now I'm going to graph it to check. That was hard. I could have screwed this up at any point. there was a lot of places for me to mess up. So we're going to check that out. So here's what we know. Let's put a new page in summary. We know that the function we started with is the square root of x plus 1. We know that if we plug in 3 to that, we get 2. So we have to point 3, 2. And we believe the slope at that point of the tangent line is 1/4. So let's see what it looks like on the graph. The tangent line would then be y minus this y value equals 1/4 times x minus the x value. So I think this is the tangent line. I want to see if it looks good on the graph. So Desmos that sucker, or whatever your favorite calculator is. I have found that on a lot of computers, if you get like 10 Desmos tabs going at once, your computer just grinds to a halt.
Tried that before.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes when I'm doing like, grading stuff for you guys or just playing around with what I'm going to teach, I get like 10 Desmos tabs going. Yeah, that's a problem. All right, so the point I believe is 3, 2. Oh, that's it's on the curve. And I think the tangent line is y minus 2 equals 1/4 of x minus 3. And just a note, common problem I have when I'm doing this step is I mix up my x and my y. I put the x here and the y there by mistake, just because they're in that order here, but they're reversed order down here. So just, if it doesn't look right, double check. Oh, did I type this equation right? Did I put the x and y in the right spot? Did I get the right slope? If you got everything right there, then there must be a problem in our work back here. I must have made a mistake somewhere in this here. General philosophy, if this is a test, give yourself 1 minute to find your error. If you don't see it, clean piece of paper, start over. All right, I think we did good. Doesn't that look nice? That looks like the tangent line there. All right, it is 11:50. Should we stop here? Okay, so if you have any questions, just if it's on the review stuff, message my instructor and you can get in touch with me that way. If it's on the written test, just send me a message in my Open Math or email me and I'll get back to you. During school days, I check my email multiple times a day. On the weekend, maybe once a day. So it could take me like at least 24 hours to get back to you.
That's a good time to come in.
Let's see. Monday, I'm pretty free in the morning. We have, I don't have another class at 11 when this one usually meets. Yeah, so anytime up till noon, I'm pretty free. And I teach from 12 to 1:30, and then again from 3 to 5. So mid-afternoon or early morning if you want to come get it from me. Morning? What time do you think?
Put 8.
8 o'clock? Okay, I better put that in my calendar.